Probably rhubarb.
Oh, the day before.
Oh, the day before they were baking pies.
Okay.
Kind of an interesting little tidbit into that story.
Yes.
I think the more visual was the house falling into the river, but you know, they were making pies.
But it's so Minnesota, you know? It just sounds
Minnesota.
It does very
much
much so.
Yes.
Thankfully, nothing like that headed here. We actually are getting kind of same disturbances that have been plaguing the Midwest to move south, and that's what actually increased our rainfall chances today. And that'll continue into the overnight and tomorrow. So tomorrow, I think we're going to get more of a break from the heat. Today, it was kind of a balancing act as to whether or not the Weather Service would issue a heat advisory. Thinking was maybe we would have enough cloud cover, thunderstorm activity to prevent that. But then we really weren't seeing the thunderstorms early enough, so temperatures were already well on their way to seeing the trigger for 108-degree heat index, so the Weather Service issued that heat advisory. Well, tomorrow it does look like we're going to get more clouds and more of these cooling showers. Not everyone saw the rainfall today, and we did hit 95 degrees. Not quite the record, though, 100 on this date set back in 2016. At the moment, looking toward downtown, and we have had some downpours move across the city. At the moment, a bit of a break. 88 degrees at Kenner right now, dew points in the mid-70s. Can't get rid of that humidity, though. 80s where we've had some cooling rainfall, sometimes briefly. Sun comes right back out, and those temperatures kind of spike again. And definitely heat indices during the day today, reaching that 108. Not everywhere, but enough locations getting to that trigger for a heat advisory for the Weather Service to issue one. Now, winds within some of the thunderstorms or even nearby, you do get a little bit of a breeze, a little bit of a wind gust, but that has not been anything very substantial. The upper high kind of centered over the Four Corners region, and those disturbances I was saying moving across the plains, Midwest, we have one of those moving south. That's what's triggered the numerous storms across the Gulf South and the Deep South. A lot of that activity, at least heavier, stayed more to our north. And there was also the question as to whether or not one of these type of complexes would move over us. If that had been the case, probably would have prevented us from getting to the heat advisory levels, but it kind of stayed generally away from us. Now, with this upper disturbance overhead, it will likely help trigger some more scattered showers overnight, as well as bring us a better chance of rain during the day tomorrow. So it looks like tomorrow morning we'll probably start out with a little bit more cloud cover and rainfall, and then more rain developing through the afternoon. That should be enough to keep our temperatures out of the mid-90s. And maybe even some locations staying in the 80s. Low end risk as that little complex moves south for a few isolated storms that could become strong to severe. Main threat would be some gusty winds. Upper high, though, while it is out off to our west today and tomorrow, will start building back eastward. And as it does so, it is going to strengthen. Now, we may be in a position to get a few little disturbances to move through this weekend. And then the question, though, as we get into next week is where does this strong high set up? If right on top of us, we're not going to see any rainfall. Maybe it'll be in a position to allow for a few little disturbances, but it looks like the strength of this high is really going to prevent any rainfall from occurring, especially into early next week. And then as we approach the 4th of July holiday, high likelihood of temperatures staying well above average. Two areas that we're watching in the tropics, both of them now designated as Invest. The first one, Invest 94. Not a very well organized system, really more of just a broad trough. Models indicating this system is going to move toward Central America, maybe toward Belize if it is a little bit more north, could move into the Bay of Campeche. Some of the other models, though, keep it more on land and never really develops into anything as it stays over more southern Mexico. The other one is Invest 95. This one way out there does show some signs that we will see maybe this one starting to strengthen a bit even before it reaches the islands, but it would not even be reaching the Caribbean until Monday of next week. And then by Wednesday, maybe into the mid or western Caribbean. A lot of time to watch that one. It is in a position where, as I say, it would, if it was coming straight at us, would be 8 to 14 days away. At this point, kind of worth a mention and really nothing more than that. The rain chances will stay on the higher side for tomorrow, hopefully keeping us a little bit milder. Milder in late June is 90 degrees. Lower to mid 90s, though, as we continue into the weekend. And then I'm keeping us dry and hot much of next week.